Thank you for your kind introduction, too. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, good. Well, it's a special honor for me to be here. Adafix is a startup, so we only founded the company this year. And it's actually the first opportunity for us to speak in public. So glad to have you all here. And I hope I have something interesting for you to tell. I know it's been a long day, and there's half an hour between me and your next break. So here's the deal. If anyone falls asleep, I buy you a drink. To make sure you're not falling asleep, we do some short interactive thing. I want to know what kind of phones you use. So those who are using BlackBerries, please raise your hands. Okay, who's using the iPhone? Okay, who's using a Nokia? Who's using the Google phone? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so topic today is monetizing the after-call market. Is probably a bit strange title for you. The overall topic of the conference is performance, 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 and what I'm trying to discuss today is really how can you make money from tapping into a new channel, not print, not online, not mobile, but really a new channel, which is the call channel, calls. So let's think through a couple of sort of thoughts. One is think calls. You probably all know that there's more than 4 billion mobile subscribers worldwide now. And on average, everyone makes about 6 calls a day, which is 24 billion calls every single day. And then if you multiply that by days of the year, you get to figure that I can't even say in English anymore because I'm not a native speaker. So it's pretty high. The interesting thing is that when you talk to network operators who make money from calls, actually charging the user, they are not really aware of who is calling who. People calling people, or businesses calling people, businesses calling businesses. They sort of look into typically what number calls which other numbers, and then they build family tariffs or call your 5 best friends tariffs. But they have actually no clue what's happening in terms of businesses being called or businesses not being called or businesses being called but they don't pick up the phone. So there's a lot of data mining one could do and one could use actually to create new products around that. So the question is, how do you actually tap into this existing huge traffic? Calls are existing. If you compare it to mobile search, we still need to build up mobile search traffic, get people to use it, but calls are there. The next thought is think call 3.0. And it's a new concept, and I'd actually like to introduce it by introducing or discussing the Web 3.0 concept, which is the semantic web, which is a bit controversial, but I just like to use it because it's all about understanding intentions and contextual information needs. It's almost like setting up the web in a way that machines can read and understand information as we humans do, so that we actually understand the intentions behind things. And if we take that concept and then try to map it into calls, the question is, how do you do that? And one way to think about it is maybe adding relevant content, adding relevant local content to calls, and that in real time. So that could be a way to map this Web 3.0 concept to Call 3.0. Next thought is think consumer. Consumers are passive and lazy. I think some of you won't agree because we have all these publishing tools now and people become active and publishers themselves. But at the end of the day, I'd really like to quote one thing, which is from Walter Chrysler, and he once said, "Lazy people rock. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He's sure to find an easy way of doing it." So, it's basically finding the path of least resistance. If there is an easy way to do it, why do it the complicated way? If, someone can automatically do something for you, why do you need to do it manually? And I think one reason why recommendation engines on Amazon or Last.fm work so well is because people are lazy. They want to be prompted with suggestions that are relevant, that make sense to them. So in other words, it's really about reacting than actually having to go and act actively. At least I'm like that. I don't know how you are, but I guess most people would see it this way. So at the end of the day, it's about convenience. Make my life easier. That's really all that's required. And when we look at the mobile phone and at local content on mobile phone, then it's mostly related to doing local searches. There's still a lot of issues around the user interfaces, and it's sometimes hard for people to interact and so on. So there's a lot of things to be overcome. So one question here would be, if there were things that you could automate for the user, why not do it? Why do I as a user have to open a search interface and type in a keyword if this could be done for me automatically? If a machine could understand my intention and do it for me and prompt me results and I just choose one. So this leads us to what I've been thinking about for the last 3 years now almost. I really got into this whole search topic a couple of years ago, and I thought, this is such a nice business model. People put in some intentions in the search field, in the search box. They get results, and then Google decorates it with advertising. And if you click on the advertiser pays. So in a way, you could say Google monetizes intentions, keywords. And if you want to map that to a call is actually just another intention, because when you call someone, when you call a company, you would like to speak to that business. So you have a clear intention. And from that concept, we derived, is there a way of monetizing this? And then we thought, well, you need to avoid of being annoying. So we thought, how about just looking into unsuccessful calls? If I call a company I can't get through, I call a taxi they don't pick up. So maybe there's a way to come up with a Google for calls on that base. Which leads us to the next question, do companies answer the phone? I've just listed a couple of sources. Ericsson says that in the mobile sector you see between 20 and 40% of calls not being successful.